Welcome to another episode of the Nagual Zone. My name is Anaam, and today I want to talk about recapitulation. This was a question asked by someone in the comments, and I promised them I'd do a video, so here we are. Recapitulation is an amazing practice, an amazing process that happens early on in the life of the apprentice and becomes less and less necessary or relevant as the apprentice matures into a warrior and the warrior matures into a man of knowledge. It gets less and less relevant by that time. But initially, in your early days in the apprenticeship, you will be doing a lot of recapitulation. Now, what is recapitulation? It's a fabulous idea, guys. It's one of those ideas that really, when I first was taught that and then practiced it, it really changed my view of things. It changed the way I approached my past. Okay. And most of the understanding of recapitulation will come once, as in all things in the warrior's way, in the Toltec way, it comes with actually doing it. So watching the video is nice. Doing it is where the rubber hits the road, right? Recapitulation is, let's put it this way. Every time you feel nostalgic about whatever it is, right? That's your cue from infinity that there is energy trapped in that area that you could free up. So say, for example, I feel nostalgic about the comics I read. I used to read when I was in school. Now, as a warrior, as other things, it now becomes my obligation to myself and the path that I have committed to. In the name of true freedom, it becomes my obligation to do whatever it takes to free up that energy. And remember, as I said, in this path, in this way, the Toltec way, nothing will come for free, nothing will come easily, and nothing will come quickly, or very rarely. Very rare things will come just quickly at your beck and call, and just because you commanded it, it shall happen. It won't. You'll have to pay in blood, sweat, and tears for every little inch of progress you make. Same with this. Every recapitulation, if you really want to do it properly, you'll have to be prepared for a good, thorough process. For example, this is one of the recapitulations I'm doing at the moment. It's one of the final few left for me at this time. A lot, 99% of it all has been done by me. And this never stops, guys. It doesn't matter if you're a man of knowledge or whatever these terms mean, if you're a Nagual or whatever it is you are, right? Nothing in the warrior's way, the basics don't leave you. The basics you'll always be doing little things here, there. You'll always be alert to where you can free energy in your system. Because it's what I want you to understand, that it's not a linear process like, oh, now don't have to deal with that ever again. No, that's just self-importance. You will have to do whatever it takes to stay free. Stay free. Okay? So, what did I decide to do? Once I realized there's so much energy trapped in all those comics that I used to read, and I've always wanted to find out what happened to that Spider-Man issue. What happened? They left me hanging, and when I was a kid, I just couldn't get the next issue for some reason or whatever. And it's always It's there. It's energy trapped there. I care enough about it. There's emotional attachment. There's an emotional connection there. That's what tells you recapitulation must happen here. So my way of doing it is now to, that's just me. I'm just crazy that way. And I love it. I love my craziness, my weirdness, and my thoroughness. Because a warrior, you can't afford to leave anything to chance. You know, you do the best that you can. So I am now reading every single issue of Marvel Comics. Every single issue they ever did. Till the year 2000. So my recapitulation is in the 1980s. All those issues, right? And only a few select topics, superheroes. But what I've decided to do is read through the entire catalog of Marvel all the way up to the year 2000. So I have them all downloaded, I've sourced them all, I've found them all, they're all there for me to access. And I'm already on the year 1972 as we make this video. Read every single issue that has to do with superheroes all the way to 1972, and I'm loving it. Recapitulation, guys, mostly if you're doing it in a sober, pragmatic way, right? Not indulging in nostalgia, not indulging. Of course, we are human beings. We are allowed to love what we do and enjoy. That's part of nostalgia, is when you sit back and ruminate and wow, I had a great time, blah blah blah, whatever else goes through your head. It's all great. You don't edit yourself. Don't become a petty tyrant to your own spirit. Allow things, feel things, allow things to happen. So that's my way of doing it, guys. And I'm loving all these issues, and now, especially now, the mid 70s, they were awful in the 60s, those comics. I had to really sit through a lot of them. Awful. They're all those artists back then are now considered legends. To me, it's just awful. What is this nonsense? They don't even look like human beings in those comics. But now in the 70s, the art is starting to get refined. The storytelling is starting to become less childish. It's really amazing. It's starting to really, take off. So I'm really enjoying now. Point being, do what it needs. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Recapitulation is reclaiming the energy that is trapped in time. Because in here, in your subconscious, time is static. There is no sense of flow. There's no 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It's all one happening. And in that happening, you have pockets of energy trapped everywhere that is not moving, that is not circulating within your system. And that is experienced in our consciousness as nostalgia. It's the first indication. And people who feel very nostalgic, take it as a sign from the eagle. There's no eagle out there. It's ludicrous. But, that is the term that is understood at this time. So take it as a sign from infinity that it is time for you to recapitulate. Now, personally, I don't recommend it as a regime, as a thing. Now I'm going to sit now and recapitulate for 2 hours every day. I've read of some strange things people are doing, like shutting themselves in a dark box. I don't know, some dark closet or in a barrel and totally dark, and then letting things come out and all sorts of I don't know what kind of things, weird. I gotta say, man, you white people are crazy, fucking crazy, man. Yeah, I don't know what goes on in your heads, but anyway, that's just my my little poke. But you don't need to be doing all that. You don't need to shut yourself in a box or put yourself in a blanket or put a mask shut off all senses so that your memories can come back to you. You don't need to do all this nonsense, man. Relax. Trust. When infinity wants you to recapitulate, do it. There's a time for it, and there's a time for other things. I teach my apprentice. There are no apprentices as far as I'm concerned. We're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. But whoever comes, thinks it fit to learn from me certain things that I'm able to impart, then I teach the natural way. I never ask people to create habits of petty tyranny in themselves. What if one day you don't feel like getting into that barrel and covering yourself up, and you're going to still do it? You're going to tyrannize yourself, hammer your spirit down into that barrel? No, why? Go watch a movie, go do other things, enjoy yourself. Don't be so ambitious. Trust the ebb and flow of life. Life will tell you when it wants you to recapitulate. Then go ahead, do your best, absolute best, and then more. And then life will say, it's enough now, take a break. Or life will say, now you will get to recapitulate this 15 years down the line. Fine. Learn to live. The warrior's way is very holistic, very natural. It's in tune with the natural rhythms of the earth we live on and our surroundings. It is not a way of becoming a petty tyrant to yourself in the name of freedom. I see that in a lot of you guys. What you do is you have these ideas and concepts about the warrior's way, and you try and fit your infinite being into those little ideas and concepts of what all this Toltec way is all about. It's the other way around. You fit the Toltec way to you. And how does that happen? By trusting. Trusting your spirit, trusting your intent, trusting your will, and all those things. And as I always insist, you must get trained. Reading books is not training. Okay? You must get trained. Because nowadays, Carlos Castaneda, only books are left, right? So all you got is books. So chances are that your interest has been kindled by reading these books. Fantastic. Now you must seek out formal training. You need to be trained into the proper systems. It's a scientific system. Very scientific system. Probably, wow, it still blows my mind how amazing it is. So guys, keep these things in mind. And if you want to learn more about, even more in depth about recapitulation, let me know and I'll be happy to do more. I like to keep these videos sort of light, skimming the surface a little bit, express myself and my views a little bit to whoever's interested, really. So with that in mind, I'll see you next time, and keep recapitulating, guys. Let's free up that energy in ourselves and become free, infinite beings full of mystery and grandeur. Walk in freedom now.